Hey warriors and wenches, this is Mr. Hardcore Mode where nothing is easy, here to bring you another hard rant in pertaining to, yes, that's right, Bioware again, yes, Veilguard again, yes, I know you're looking at me like an old man who doesn't want to talk about the war to his grandkids, and you're just like, you swore not to speak about it! I know, but the only way for us to heal is to talk. And yes, I could do this whole thing where I say nothing. I could. But I would rather call them out on their bullshit than to just stay silent. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. This is on Bloomberg, a site that I don't care about, and I think in agreement nobody fucking cares about them. If anything, they're the minority and we're the majority, because they think that we're the minority when it comes to how we feel with Bioware and what they're doing. Jason Schreier, the person that said go woke, go top of the charts, he's late though. He's late, but he's finally admitted that Bioware, the game didn't do well. It took him this long. And I'm just like thinking to myself, I think there's a reason why he waited this long to finally admit that he was fucking wrong, that this game isn't doing well. It's because what they like to do is just stay silent and just, fade out and never talk about that situation because they realize they fucked up. And then they come back like, the game didn't do well. And then we, as a community, have to come up, touch Jason Schreier on the shoulder and be like, nah, nigga, we remember what you said at the beginning. You said that this was the best game since sliced bread, or you said all this shit, all this hype over this game, and we're gonna call you out on that. So let's go ahead. Inside the Dragon Age debacle that gutted EA's Bioware studio, the latest game in Bioware's fantasy role-playing series went through 10 years of development turmoil. I mean, I'm glad you're talking about turmoil now. After you've been there talking to them, you have friends and connections within Bioware, and now you want to talk about the turmoil. Now you want to talk about it. Before you were just like, you know what? They're doing great over there. And I'm just like, okay, all right. So let's see what he has to say. In early November, on the eve of the crucial holiday shopping season, staffers at the video game studio Bioware were feeling optimistic. After an excruciating development cycle, they had finally released their latest game, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and the early reception was largely positive. Nigga still won't stop lying. Nigga still won't stop lying. Listen, just because people online say that they're positive a game does not mean that they are the wider majority. There are more people at home that don't connect with us online and say, this looks like ass. This doesn't look like a Bioware game. They're not connected in any way. They come, they go, they play their game, and then they just do their own thing at home. Those are the large majority. You're not looking at them. I like to look at the numbers. You're not looking at that. You see people on Reddit, and they're just like, you know how Reddit's gonna Reddit. You're gonna look at them and they're gonna be like, this is what we wanted. And we're not gonna base everything on what Reddit wants. We're gonna base it off of what the people want, who are the larger majority. The playing game was topped sales charts on Steam, and solid, if not spectacular, reviews were rolling in. Sir, okay, no, we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna hold on to this, okay? Hold on to what he just said right there. Let's keep going. Hold on. But in the weeks that followed, the early buzz cooled as players delved deeper into the fantasy world, and some Bioware employees grew anxious. For months, everyone at the subsidiary of the video game publisher Electronic Arts Incorporated had been under intense pressure. The studio's previous 2 games, Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem, had flopped, and there were rumors that if Dragon Age underperformed, might become another of EA's many casualties. So, when you say BioWare was feeling optimistic, did you actually mean, oh, the employees were anxious? Oh, if they fail, we're not going to see this development team anymore? Is that what you mean? What do you mean optimistic? Where are you going with these words? Because I'm catching what you're saying, where you're just saying they're coming in strong. They think they can make it. And then all of a sudden, now you want to say, for months, everyone at the subsidiary of video game publisher Electronic Arts Incorporated had been under intense pressure. So now they're struggling. Now, like, at first you were just like, they're coming in strong. They got their head held high. They're optimistic. They're good. And as soon as the game comes out, now they're just like, well, you know, their previous games, they sucked, and this one's really gotta stick at home. We're at the edge of our seat. We don't know how we're gonna feel. Which way are you going with this sort of dialogue, is what I'm saying. Not long after, and also, if it was at the top of the charts, why are they feeling anxious? I mean, I guess you could say you're anxious, you know, regardless of whether or not your game is good or not. I'm holding on to what you said right here, Jason Schreier. The role-playing game was topping the sales charts of Steam, and solid, if not spectacular, reviews were rolling in. We know what they said. How every single review said what was the term? Because now I'm forgetting it, because I want to erase this from my mind. You all said, IGN to Polygon, all of you guys said it was a return to fucking form. There it is. Y'all sounded like you just did an AI sort of chat GPT thing all together at the same time. So those same people also went back weeks or months later and said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't have given it 100 or a 9 out of 10. And you do this. You see this from game journalists where they're just like, AAA game, 100. And then they come back a month later and they're like, maybe, listen, we knew that they were going to fail. And I'm like, no, bitch. We know what you said before. Top of the charts, right? Come on back. Come on back. Maybe that chart didn't mean anything. You ever thought about that? Maybe there was no competition around BioWare, BioWare's game, The Veilguard, at all. There was nothing around that game. I mean, of course, there were games before that came out before that. I think it was like a week or a month ago. There was no competition, and they failed. And then the development team was just like, yo, we got so many players. Copies or players? And they were like, listen, we don't want to talk about that right now. Not long after Christmas, the bad news surfaced. EA announced in January that the new Dragon Age had only reached 1.5 million players, missing the company's expectations by 50%. That is very, very big. So when you say top of the charts, what you actually meant is, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Is that right, Jason Schreier? The holiday performance, by the way, this was a holiday. How the fuck do you fuck up this much on a holiday? The holiday performance of another recently released title, EA Sports FC 2025, was also subpar, compounding the problem. Well, maybe they should stop focusing on taking children's money with microtransactions over a fucking sports game and maybe focus on the gameplay. Maybe they might have something. What, you think I'm gonna suck EA's dick? Go fuck yourself. What they need to understand is what they need is good leadership in their team, which, by the way, that was Casey Hudson, and his ass left, and then the team just imploded in on itself. Mark Dara didn't do a goddamn thing except stoke the flames. So there's just zero leadership out there. And Corey Bush, fuck that nigga. You think I'm gonna trust somebody that cuts his dick off? Hell no. Hell fucking no. No. You all failed spectacularly. You did not get top of the charts spectacularly. You didn't get spectacular reviews. What you got was people, what's the word I'm looking for? Dick riding? Dick riding is a good one. What I'm also looking for is what they're doing. It's not a current. It is a currency, but it's not the currency that you think. Access. They gave you high scores on a AAA company because they want that delicious access. That's currency to them. They gave you a high score because they're just like, you know what? We know these Negroes. We gotta give them a good score. What, they got trans stuff in the game? We definitely are on their side. You remember when that IGN guy that did the Veilguard he did the Veilguard review and gave it a 9 out of 10? That trans weirdo freak who said online, if you don't do this or if you do this, I swear to you, I will reduce your review score. I don't give a fuck. He said it like he had like some sort of feelings, like he was in his feelings. I forgot his name, but the Veilguard fucking dude, the guy that did the IGN person that reviewed Veilguard, said something so crazy on Blue Sky that he said, I don't give a fuck if you don't do this or this. I gotta find that. If somebody could find that, I'd greatly appreciate it. The person that did the review for Veilguard on IGN said, you better do this or I'm lowering your score. And I'm just like, nigga, who the fuck do you think you are? Bitch? Who the fuck do you think you are? I forgot what it was, but I'll find it later and I'll attach it at the bottom of the video. Let's continue. As a result of struggling titles, EA Chief Executive Officer Andrew Wilson explained the company would be significantly lowering its sales forecast for the fiscal year ahead. EA's share price promptly plunged 18%. Jason Schreier? Do you know what numbers are? Do you know what those numbers are? Never mind, move on. Dragon Age had a quality launch and he had a high quality launch and was well reviewed by critics and those who played. Nigga, I swear to God, Jason Schreier knows how to write and he has proper grammar, but I swear to God, he skipped math class. He went straight to literature, straight to like anything involving literature and that sort of thing. He stayed right on English class and jumped right over like mathematics, statistics, calculation, all that sort of like stock. I'm like over here like, you might want to take a stock class. Jason Schreier. It's like, I don't like numbers. I know you don't like numbers, Jason Schreier, but when you go to school, please take your math class. And it's like, I don't want to. You do not say EA shares price promptly plunged 18%. You don't say like, where is it? Where's the 50%? Dragon Age had only reached 1.5 million players, missing the company's expectations by 50%. And then you come back and say, huh, you did a good job. If the publisher and the developer are saying we're going down with the ship, maybe Jason Schreier, I know you're on land and you're watching the ship fall. Do not turn to the people and say like, huh, that's a good boat. Do not do that. Do not turn to people watching the ship fucking sink slowly, people screaming and saying, and turn to me and say, you know what? That's a sturdy ship right there. I might want to get on that ship. And I'm like, go ahead, Jason Schreier, the ship's sinking right now. Why don't you get on that ship? And then Jason Schreier's like, I don't want to get my feet wet. And I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? Wilson later said on the earnings call, however, it did not resonate with a broad enough audience in this highly competitive market. I'm going to be honest. I'm glad that he brought this in here, but I'm gonna be honest when he says highly competitive market, nigga, it's not that hard to make a dark fantasy that's already like established. It's not that bad. Do not. I am gonna say this. EA, it's not EA's fault. I'm saying that right now. It is not EA's fault. Do not come at me with like, oh, EA did this. EA only did a small portion of damage. Everything else is Bioware. Listen, EA likes to wait for the money to... EA's favorite thing is to watch and wait and see where the money is going. That's their favorite thing. They will tell Bioware to do a few things, but you can have actual conversations with them if you have proper leadership and say, no, we want the price to be this for Veilguard. We want the game not to be called Veilguard. We want it to be called Dreadwolf. We also want to not do a multiplayer game. And we also want to do a first-person game with good shit. Also take out that trans bullshit. And then if you have a good leader that has this conversation and meeting with EA, you can have something that is established. You could not have what Veilguard did. But no, there was zero leadership. Zero. Nada. None. Everybody just said, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and that was it. Days after the sales revision, EA laid off a chunk of Bioware staff at the studio's headquarters in Canada. Not my problem. It's Canada. And permanently transferred many of the remaining workers to other divisions. For the storied 30-year-old game maker, it was a stunning fall that left many fans wondering how things had gone so haywire and what might come next for the stricken studio. I'm gonna be honest. You should be very happy that you were moved back to EA. If they transferred you from Bioware to EA and moved you around a bit, or you're lucky like Corey Bush and you get transferred over to Wizard of the Coast to join this new team or something like that, you're lucky. Look at you, lucky ass motherfucker. Meanwhile, there's literally 100 people left in Bioware. When you say laid off a chunk, that was the whole team. There's only less than 100 people in Bioware now working on Mass Effect, so I don't know what you mean. I mean, you killed Dragon Age, might as well move over to the blue alien bitches. According to the interviews with nearly 24 people who worked on Dragon Age the Veilguard, there were several reasons behind its failure, including marketing misfires. That's your own fault. That's part of your reason. Marketing misfires. You think the broader audience gives a fuck about your misfires? You know what would have helped with the marketing misfires? Leadership. Poor word of mouth. Leadership again. And a 10-year gap. By the way, poor word of mouth. I bet, I'm going to say this right now. I bet some of your staff that's not sorry. I bet some of your staff that doesn't care, that doesn't lean left, right, center, or anything, they just want to make a good game. I bet they're too scared to lose their job that they don't speak up. So you made that situation in ergo vis-a-vis leadership again. So I wouldn't blame them for not saying anything if they were afraid to lose their job. And a 10-year gap since the previous title. So it's your whole team's fault. So it's your, above all, sources point to the rebooting of the product from a single-player game to a multiplayer one, and then back again, a switcheroo that muddled development and inflated the title's budget. They say ultimately settings of the stage of EA's potentially unrealistic sales expectations. A spokesperson of EA declined to comment. He probably declined to comment because he knew he fucked up. Like I said, you need a good leader in Bioware. All of you in Canada are fucking pussies, okay? All of you are pussies. Nobody wants to step up and be a fucking man, especially one of you, and none of you want to say anything. None of you just want to say, like, we're not doing multiplayer. But you have to. We're not doing multiplayer. But we're not doing multiplayer. Okay, let me talk to my boss real quick. So they have a conversation. They talk amongst themselves. They come back. Are you sure you don't want to do multiplayer? Yes, we're sure. It's not going to work. It's going to fail. We're going to lose money. You're going to lose money. We're going to lose people. And you're going to probably lose a job. Do you want to lose money? No, I don't want to lose money. So let's do our damn job and do a one-player game. It works out. Maybe for Mass Effect, we can have like a multiplayer on the side, but let's focus on what we're good at, which is one-player games. Let's get back to Dragon Age Origins and get the shit straight. You want money, right? You allergic to money now? Okay, cool. All right, cool. Let's do this. That's all you need. That's all you need. Tell them there's money here. There's money to be had if we do this, and this. And then I bet the meetings for these EA and Bioware meetings are fucking 30 minutes. I bet it's a 30 fucking minute meeting and they're just like, yeah, sure. Yeah, multiplayer? Yeah. Battle Pass? Yeah. For a Dragon Age game? Yeah. And I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? No wonder Casey Hudson left. Anyway, the union between Bioware and EA started off with lofty aspirations. That's putting it lightly. In 2020, listen, EA executives are not. Listen, I'm not gonna have a history lesson from Jason Schreier, a person that doesn't know math. Initially, it looked like a smart move thanks to a string of big hits. What do you mean a smart move there, Jason Schreier? What do you mean? You just had a conversation. What do you mean? In 2014, oh, you're talking about the previous games. We're not talking about Veilguard. Gotcha, my bad. In 2014, Bioware released Dragon Age Inquisition, the third installment in a popular action series of dropping players in a semi-open world full of magic. Elves and fire-spewing dragons, yada yada yada, don't care. Before long, ooh, they're gonna bring up Mark Dara. Thank God you're gonna bring up Mark Dara. Thank God that fucking one trick pony. The fantasy title went on to win the most much coveted Game of the Year award, and then they stopped. They won Game of the Year in 2014, and then they stopped because they didn't know what to make after that. Then that's it. That's it. Some of the developers that did KOTOR are working on Exodus right now because they have something that Mark Dar doesn't have, and that is integrity. They have creativity. They have innovation. They have imagination. Mark Darr gave up on that shit. You know what Mark Darr is good at? Talking shit. It's executive producer Mark Darr, a major validation of EA's diversification strategy. Yeah, how's that strategy working out when you fucking fired all those weird trans people? How's that working out? Before long, Darr and Mike Laidlaw, the creative director, began kicking around ideas for the new Dragon Age installment code named Joplin, aiming for a game that would be smaller in scope, but before much could get done, Bioware shifted the studio's focus to more pressing titles coming down the pike. In 2017, Bioware released Mass Effect Andromeda, the fourth installment. I think this is where Mike Laidlaw and Casey Hudson take a picture in here. Unlike its critically successful predecessors, the game received mediocre reviews and was widely mocked by fans. Okay. Now, since we got mediocre reviews, now you'll bring up the fans. What if the reviews were glowing? Would you be like, well, what if IGN and Polygon said that Andromeda was fucking great? You know, back when IGN had a backbone, a little bit, not too much. I miss 2015 and 2013 sort of IGN, but whatever. What if they said Andromeda was good? I'm curious, Jason. Would you mention the fans at all? You'd be like, I don't understand. IGN, Polygon, and all these big people that want access to media, you know, they said that the game was great. I don't get it. I don't understand. The few months after the disappointing release, the head of the Bioware stepped down and was soon replaced by Microsoft Incorporated's Casey Hudson, an alumni of Bioware's early formative years. I miss you, Casey Hudson. I hope you're doing all right. Like much of the, I know he fucked up on. I think he worked on Anthem and a little bit of Dragon Age Dreadwolf, but I think that's it. So yeah, they're talking about Anthem here. One day in October 2017, Mike Laidlaw summoned his colleagues into a conference room and pulled out a few pricey bottles of whiskey. The next Dragon Age sequel, he told the room, would also be pivoting to an online live service game. A decision from above that he disagreed with. He was resigning from the studio. The assembled... See, Mike Laidlaw understood the fucking assignment. He tried his fucking best, and he said, you know what? This is not what I wanted, and I'm leaving. The assembled staff stayed late through the night, drinking and reminiscing about the franchise they loved. I wish that pivot had never occurred. Darr would have later recount on YouTube. EA said, make this a live... you know what's funny about this thing? You want to know what's funny? Is that this actually solidifies what I just said before, where I said, have a talk and be a leader with EA and tell them we're not doing another live service. Because he's like, well, you gotta do another live service. You gotta do a multiplayer Dragon Age the Veilguard. You have to. And then tell them, you remember Anthem? And then EA be like, you're right. You're fucking right. Fuck, you're right. God damn. Fuck, yeah, that fucked up. Yeah, we thought you guys would, yeah, you're right. So, in February 2019, Bioware released Anthem, didn't work, fans were similarly displeased, everybody knows that. In the wake of Bioware's second consecutive flop, the multiplayer version of Dragon Age continued to take shape, that also flopped as well. That's another flop with the fucking multiplayer as well, of Dragon Age Inquisition. They keep on more flops and more flops. Every time. This is what there was also a Mass Effect multiplayer that barely brought in fans as well. And then they keep on seeing, it's like, if you look at the numbers of how many people are playing the multiplayer, they don't give a fuck and they hate it. So for Veilguard or Dreadwolf, we're not going to do it. And then EA is going to be like, oh shit, we do love numbers. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do love numbers. Yeah, look at the numbers. That's not a lot of money. And I want a lot of money. And if we do a multiplayer, we're not going to get a lot of money. Huh, he's got a point. Huh. Okay. All right. You know how to do one-player games? Nigga, we've been here for 20 years. Of course we know how to do one-player games. Boom. Boom. Conversation done. I can understand that they'll be like, let's try this, and then Bioware tries the multiplayer, it doesn't work out, and then you go back to EA having the meeting, and then every time that you have an EA meeting, you go, no multiplayer, y'all have a good day. Next meeting, fuck that multiplayer shit, we don't know how to do it. See y'all later. Like I would mention it every time at the meeting and be like, it would get annoying at that point where I'm just like, great meeting, guys. I'll see y'all later. By the way, never mention multiplayer in front of me again. I'll see y'all later. Have a good day. I hope your family's good. You have a good one. He's like, we're not talking about multiplayer. You will one day. Just letting you know. So, it's just funny that I see all this. And then Jason Schreier is just wondering, how did this happen? So we're going to look at the last bit. When Dragon Age: The Veilguard premiered on Halloween 2024, after many internal delays, some staff members thought there were a lot to like, including the game's new combat system. You mean you investigated the Bioware team and you've discovered there was no wrongdoing? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? We've investigated our game and we realized that it's going to be the best game ever. And then Jason Schreier said, I think it's going to be the best game ever. And I'm like, nigga, of course they're going to say that. Let's get it into the hands of the people and find out what's going to happen. Every time when EA or reviews come out from IGN, Polygon, all these people, and they say, oh shit, 100. That's where Jason Schreier stops. He doesn't go any further. He doesn't dig deep. He doesn't read between the lines. He stops right there. Access Media said it was good. EA said it was good. Bioware said it was good. Fans fucking hate it. And then he goes like, oh, I don't get it. You mean people have to like the game in order for them to get money? What? The reactions of the fan base are mixed. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not mixed. Well, listen, let me tell you something. If you go on Dragon Age on Reddit, which I really hope you don't do that, you will get one conversation and one conversation only. Romance gay shit. Those guys are the minority. That's all they care about. They don't care about combat, lore. That's all they care about. Smooching and butt fucking and scissoring. That's all they fucking care about. And if you look at the numbers for their likes and dislikes, it ain't fucking a lot. That's all they fucking care about. And I'm gonna be honest with you, not everybody's on fucking Reddit. Not everybody's on Blue Sky. Not everybody's on Twitter. The majority of people that liked Dragon Age still talk about Origins, still talk about Dragon Age 2, and fucking Inquisition. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are looking at Dragon Age 2 and saying, I think I judged you too harshly. I apologize. I would like to rescind what I said to you. So, let's continue. The reactions of the fan base are mixed, to put it gently. Said Katie, a popular Dragon Age YouTuber. You over here talking to fucking YouTubers? Is that what you... Of course this bitch would be gentle about what she says. It's like, well, we're doing, it's a little mixed, to put it lightly. Talk to a man. Talk to me. Talk to a regular dude with 3,000 subscribers, and then I'm just gonna put it to you like you. Shit's trash. Nobody likes it. Fucking gay as shit fucking game. It looks like a multiplayer game mixed in with fucking top surgery scars. Get this shit out of here. And then everybody else, like everybody else after that's gonna be like, well, I wouldn't be that extreme, but yes. Some, like myself, adore it for various reasons. I wonder what that would be. Others feel utterly betrayed by certain design choices. I wonder what that might be. Following the layoffs and staff resignments of Bioware earlier in the year, a small team of a few dozen employees is now working on the next Mass Effect. After the 3 high-profile failures in a row, questions linger about EA's commitment to the studio. Well. Look where we're at, Jason Schreier. Look where we're at. Historically, Bioware has, it doesn't matter about historically, all that matters is what's happening now. Even so, there may be strategic reasons for EA to keep supporting Bioware. Single-player role-playing games? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, single role-playing games? I thought they wanted a multiplayer game. Are expensive to make, but can lead to huge windfalls when successful, as demonstrated by recent hits like Cyberpunk 2077, Elden Ring, and Baldur's Gate 3. You know what's funny? Each 3 of sorry. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna end the video. Electronic Arts is not blind. Electronic Arts is not blind to Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, and Cyberpunk 2077. All you had to do is because EA's team of the EA's people that you have meetings with, Bioware, all you need to do to mention one-player games is talk like a fucking Neanderthal. You don't have to say big words to them. You just need to come up to them when they say, you need to make a multiplayer game. Just say, this is a Dragon Age game, and I think we could beat Baldur's Gate 3. And then they're like, Baldur's Gate 3? The Game of the Year game? Oh shit! That game that that sold millions and millions? Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, I think it's possible with my team. Oh shit! And that's a one-player game? It is a one-player game, random EA fucking person. And then they'll be like, oh shit! Well, crap. Well, what do you need? Well, we're gonna need funding. We're gonna need time. And then we will get you that Baldur's Gate 3 type of game. We're gonna go back to our roots. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, this, and that. And then they're gonna be like, whoa, that's gonna be a lot of money. I know, right? So shut the fuck up and let's do our job. That's all they fucking need. Let's see what the last bit that he's saying. In order to grow, EA needs more than just sports franchises. Said, actually, EA can survive off of sports franchises, said TD Cohen analyst Doug Cruz. Trying to fix its fantasy-focused studio may be easier than starting something new. They're not going to keep Bioware. They're not going to keep Bioware. I'm telling you that right now. That said, if they shuttered the doors tomorrow, I wouldn't be totally surprised. See, even he's not fucking dumb. It has been over a decade since they produced a hit. Exactly. So, Jason Schreier's, you want to know what's funny about this? He has no sort of integrity with what he says. He doesn't have an apology on here. He doesn't want to come back and be like, you know what? You guys are right. I was wrong. And now that he's getting to the meat and potatoes of pretty much the conversation of Dragon Age, he's letting loose with this whole thing. Everything is written well. He's not being leaning towards the right or the left. He's not siding when he's completely unbiased with what's going on here, and he's just giving actual facts. Like he literally said at the top, like right up here, he said at the top over here that the development team thought they were going to do well. And then when it came out, it didn't do well. he didn't say anything like, oh shit, we know this is gonna be big, because that's not what journalists say. That's not what journalists don't come out and say like, oh, it's gonna be big because it's a AAA game and this is what's gonna happen. No, they stick to facts. Or at least they try to go allegedly with a few things. But not Jason Schreier. No. Jason Schreier likes to say a whole bunch of big shit before a game comes out, and then when the game comes out after 2 or 3 months, then he comes back and is like, here's all the information that I've been holding the whole fucking time, and I'm not gonna say people were right, but yeah, here's everything that literally you guys, the people in chat, already know. Like, Jason Schreier just came 3 months later and turned in his homework. Meanwhile, each and every one of you have already turned in your homework, like, right on time. Jason Schreier's coming in late, and he fucking found out. He's like, oh yeah, Veilguard's not performing well. And everybody's just like, you mean the game that came out last Halloween? Yeah, we already know that. We knew that with the first trailer. You're late. Well, everybody knew that. Cindy, did you know that? Oh yeah, that shit gay. Greg? Yeah, it was, yeah, we knew it. That's why we didn't buy it. You're late. Jesus. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there. That was 40 minutes of me ranting about Bioware again. Fuck. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you for coming by. Fuck, I did it again. Alright, we're gonna end it there.